Hey, what's up, people? This is Cynic Hex, and I know I haven't made a video in a while, but that's not important. What is important is the fact that Steam did something very stupid today. Very depressing. So, they've created a system now where they have mods available for purchase. So, on paper, it might seem fine. You know, you understand modders want to get paid for their work, yada yada yada. Modders are only going to be making about 25% of the cut whenever they put up an item for sale. Another thing that seems to be a thing, essentially, is that in order to get your share of the funds of the mod you created, you have to at least sell about $100 worth of the mods in order to see any of the money, which is some form of a quality control, sure. One of the big problems I have, though, personally with the whole system is the fact that it just sets a bad precedent. So, essentially, mods, especially the way mods have been working for just several games like Skyrim, Oblivion, a lot of the Nexus mods, it's usually through a collaboration of different modders and, things like that, that work together and incorporate what one person does into their mod and, all this other stuff. Now, essentially, it's for this guy, Steam anyway. It's well, I like this guy's mods. Let me go ahead and sell it, and then give myself all the profit. Or if you create a mod and incorporate somebody else's, mods within your own mod, still selling it for a profit on somebody else's work. If you ever even see a profit, because hopefully, and I hope, people don't actually go ahead and buy this, I have no problem with donating to mod creators. There's been plenty of mods that, shit, if I had a donate button, I would definitely hit it. Some great work has been done, for sure. And one of the great works that I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit was oh shit, died here. I fucking died, god damn it. Anyway, one of the great works that I was talking about, or, that I want to talk about, is the patches that modders have been creating. A lot of these patches are, like, a perfect example is like the unofficial Skyrim patch or, Oblivion patch or whatever, which essentially, you need to make mods work. And it fixes a lot of the bugs and issues with the game that the developers themselves have not fixed. So, let me ask you, as far as a conflict of interest is concerned, what is the likelihood, or not necessarily just the likelihood, but a possibility of a developer, maybe announcing some key features in the game and then not putting those key features in the game, then all of a sudden the mod shows up with those key features in the game behind the paywall? I would say it's plausible. I would say it's pretty likely. I know if I was a shady bastard, that's what I would do. That is exactly what I would do. If I was after your money and nothing else whatsoever, it's nice. I'll get my cousin or friend's friend to use his name and his Steam account to put these patches and bug fixes behind a paywall, so essentially I could double dip the profits. Now, a lot of you people, not maybe a lot, I doubt a lot of people would be surprised by stuff like this. Kind of what happens in capitalistic society. Whatever you can do to make the profit. Almighty dollar. It's the only thing of any kind of importance. And trust me, I understand the need to make a buck. But at the same time, I understand the system that's put into place so that way, it can be abused. I live in America, after all. That's essentially how this country works. So yeah, bad things in the future, I'm pretty sure. Slippery slope and all that just doesn't look good. Unless people can wake up. If you look at the history of what's been going on with video games as far as DLC, microtransactions, things like that are concerned, I mean, it's an absolute mess. And it's nothing good. Nothing we actually, would say that was beneficial. Sure, some of the stuff that may be additional content, but when you have games that are being developed, AAA titles that feel completely missing of all base content, like stuff was just cut and put behind essentially a DLC paywall later on in the future. Well, that's pretty much what our games industry is kind of turned into today, where a lot of additional content and a bunch of stuff is just essentially cut and put behind DLC. I mean, just look at EA, like, you know, EA. I was going to call them Electronic Arts. I don't think they've been called that for a while. Or at least nobody uses the full name anyway. Yeah, just look at EA and all their Battlefield games, you know? It's like before modding capabilities, multiple players, yada yada yada, tons of shit. Now it's just more stripped content because, you know, they're quote-unquote expensive or whatever, but the money that they are spending on these fucking things is just advertising. You know, the in-game assets use the same engine, same everything, retextures, blah 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 blah, cut whatever corners you could possibly have. I mean, it's a corporation, it makes money, and that's how they make money, is by cutting corners. You know what I mean? So, all companies do that to a certain extent anyway. Not so much as openly as that this, you know, billion-dollar industry video games does these days. It's pretty bad stuff. Well, anyway, I hope nobody actually goes ahead and purchases any of these mods and really doesn't, you know, make it a trend, because if we follow the same trend that's been in the past with the whole microtransactions and DLC, shit's fucked up. It ain't gonna get any better. So, you know, now, before it was, don't pre-order mods, and now it's essentially just avoid, you know, Steam's workshop. Any paid content on the Steam's workshop, just avoid. Please. Because if not, you're just gonna, you know, enable a very terrible, terrible frickin' practice. So, anyway, I felt I had to make a video about that, and that was this video. Whether I'll be making videos again, I don't know. We'll see. I'm a lazy fuck, so maybe, maybe not. Who knows? It's been a while. It was a nice talk. I enjoyed it. Anyway, you guys take it easy, and don't buy that shit, okay? Alright, peace.